little bit more. But Adam is an entrepreneur. He's a pioneer technologist, so he's the right speaker for today. He has hands-on experience in identifying, qualifying, and implementing enabling technologies and systems that facilitate business processes and strategic objectives. I hope you're going to break that down for us. But we are looking forward to hearing what you have for us this morning. And also, let me just encourage everyone here, if you have a question for Adam, please put it on the chat group. At the end of his presentation, we can ask him questions, as many questions as possible, because he's an expert, and hopefully we'll have him another time. Let me also say that Adam has been very willing to speak at our events. Unfortunately, last year we had an event we had to cancel, but he was very willing to share his knowledge. So thank you so much, Adam, for your leadership, for your willingness to just promote African women. So you're very welcome. We are really glad to have you today. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm humbled. But yeah. So I've been in the tech space for almost 6 years now. So I started off as a software developer, just writing code for mobile applications, websites, e-commerce stores, enterprise software. So so that's where I started, and then I'm now into more software project management, just on a career basis. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 4 years as well, running my own business where we build mobile applications and websites and all that stuff for small to medium size, even large scale businesses as well. So just being able to be in the tech space for this period of time and seeing a lot of trends and seeing a lot of what has been going on in the past couple of years. I felt like this is a good platform to speak, just to maybe share some insights and what I've gained over the years in terms of experience and knowledge for running online businesses and even managing online businesses in the country as well as in the States and all that. So since we're a small group, I'm not going to really present for very long, because I think it's to be more helpful if we answer more questions. Because I mean, everyone can go Google how to run a successful online business. I mean, you're going to get a couple of nuggets here, but what I'm going to share would be more from an experience standpoint. So for every business, so just going through my key takeaways now, the first one for me, which is very, very important running an online business, is being agile. So I know you've probably heard the terminology used a lot. What does being agile means, agile methodologies and stuff. It's a project management, methodology. It was started by a lot of engineers that felt that, the processes and ways to do things needed to be a lot more flexible. So you can delve into it and read about it, but I'm not really going to emphasize more on the agile processes, but more about the mindset. So running an online business, being flexible to adjust and adapt, that's what technology is all about. I mean, I saw a lot of businesses struggle when COVID hit, because they're like, how do we access our customer base? Because you had processes already in place that were not so flexible enough, and flexibility starts from the mind. It's a mindset thing. I saw businesses that started going into using, Zoom and a whole lot of tech tools to be able to, engage with their customers. These are things that are already done by companies 4, 5 years ago, prior to even before the COVID happened. But many small businesses, even big businesses, were not, aware of around these trends and around these tools, and we're not like willing and able to be able to adapt to using these tools because of, being stuck in the way you do things in your setting processes. So being agile, having an agile mindset, not only helps you to be flexible, but also helps you to be able to iterate really quick. So for example, what I'm trying to say is, let's say you want to try do a new campaign, a new marketing campaign on your website, or you're trying to maybe try to introduce a new product, and you don't know if that product is going to sell, or you don't know, well, you've Googled, you research, you've done your research, and research analysis tells you, hey, yeah, this product has a chance of 40 to or 70% chance of being raising revenue and things like that. But that's just information. But being agile will be, you want to prototype that immediately. So you want to take it to market, no matter how small it is. Take a sample size of the product, reach out to maybe 5 to 10 user groups. I mean, it's not going to cost you anything. I mean, get people's input, get their feedback, because at the end of the day, the people using the product, or who you're selling to, are the people. So if you're not getting feedback from them, then you don't know exactly how. So you can take a little sample size, prototype, iterate, learn, have the people use it, give you feedback, and then you can use that as an informed analysis instead of like literally just reading, So these are just different ways of highlighting being flexible, being able to adapt, and, being different from, in terms of how to be able to, approach certain things, whether it's sales, whether it's tech, whatever it is, just having the flexibility. And then I will just move to the point, the data-driven point, because I think I'm around that point. I'm around that, area. So running an online business, you need to have data, because there's no, like, it's one of the most important things. It's like so important. If you're not tracking, if you're not collecting data, if you're not tracking data, if you don't know what is going on with your business, which is the data you get on a day-to-day, then you're always in the blind spot. So it puts you in a blind space. So when I mean data, I'm talking like, if you run a marketing campaign, if you run something on social media, like if you post pictures of, you growing your social media presence and things like that, there's always data on Instagram or social or Facebook and things like called insights and, views and all that stuff, and likes and stuff. The engagement there, that information is very important, because understanding what your target market or your customers are engaging more on is very, very important, because then now you can streamline and you can understand what you need to share. You can understand where you need to focus more on. And that information too, you can also get it on your website too. So if you run a website, an e-commerce store, where you sell your products or you offer services, you also want to know where your customers or where your potential leads land on, where did they spend more time on the site, what information they engage more on, what pages they're looking at the most. All that information get on Google Analytics, and you can literally see where people are engaging more. So data is very, very important. I cannot overemphasize this enough, because that really, really helps you spend less on the things that are really not that important and focus more on the things that are important. So yeah, and then another third key takeaway, I would say, it's focusing on UI UX. That's the user experience. So think about it, like when you go to a store, there's certain stores. Why is it that you go to a certain store, let's say Checkers or Pick and Pay? Why do you go to certain stores or Woolworths and stuff like that? Or even just any shopping outlet. Why do you go to a certain store and not the other one? So you got to go into the mind of the user experience. So the user experience starts from the point of, not just the point of sale, but the point of once you walk into that store. You see the way things are, arranged. There's a reason why it's arranged the way they are. There's a reason why this item on this top shelf and this the shelf below. There's a reason how you get the customer representatives speak to you, engage with you. Do you need help? Do you need this? Take you through the process. And then before you even get to the point of sale where you actually pay for the product. So that's the entire user experience. So it's so crucial in online businesses that if you have a mobile app, people are engaging in, or you're using a website, or you run your sales or your processes on social media, they have to experience the user experience has to be on par. Because think about every time when you go on Instagram and you see an ad or you see a product being displayed, but you just flip through it. But some you spend like a couple of seconds looking at it, and then you click on it just to learn more, want to know more. So that's the user experience, how to draw, engage customers or engage potential leads by how you display either the ad. Is it eye-catchy? Does it look good? Is it intriguing? It needs to be intriguing for me to be like, okay, let me just try and know what it's all about. And then so that has to tie into the copy. That's the copy, what you write, just a whole lot of things, the design and all. So there's a whole user experience that needs to be catered for on a website, on a social media platform. And those really help with, pulling in potential leads and, increasing conversion rates. And I think it's very important. And another key takeaway will be upskilling. Just, going with the trends. So like I mentioned earlier, when I was talking about agile and, being flexible, there are a lot of, like I said, many companies started going into using video calls, started doing remote business, started going remote because you were forced to, because of the circumstances at hand. But if you are going with the trends of how tech changes, because tech is so volatile, it's so volatile. Like you can know what's going on at the start of the year, and it's going to probably change before the end of the year. So many of these tools were already in place. People were already using them. I worked for a company that since 2007, they've been remote. While people here just only got remote like in 2020 or 2020, due to COVID. So imagine like just adapting remote work, also because, trying new technologies and seeing how they can add value to your current business, and, just going with the trends and not being stuck in a certain way or a certain process or on how you've always been doing things, but being open, allowed to give room to, try new things, because you might just use something that no one else is using, and it will set you at a high advantage. Because every product you sell, like almost 80 to 90% of the time, if you run an online business that does product and services, there are over 1,000 other people doing probably the same thing you're doing. So whenever you try to, get an edge by either using the technology that streamlines or sets you, that helps your process, or, that opens up opportunities, then you might want to adapt that, because that makes you stand out from the crowd. And that's one very important nugget in business, because almost everyone is doing about the same thing, and almost everyone is trying to, outsell the other person. But just having the right tools and just being able to be flexible and go with the trends, because your basic platform is not a building.